If you're an entrepreneur or businessman, you'll understand this. A day in the life of an entrepreneur, solving problems all day long. When you've solved one problem, the next problem pops up. And look at this guy talking about how to be successful in life after this video clip.
It's simple. If you want to get ahead of 99% of people in the world, then you need to be willing to do something that 99% of people are not willing to do.
You are a marvel, my dear.
Now, I know that sounds obvious, but there's been a bit of a meme with a bunch of videos coming out claiming that they make you more successful than 99% of people in the world. And it turns out it's all the same every other video. Have goals, be more disciplined, remove distractions. Serious right now, guys? Goals, guys? Goals, that's what Bill Gates, goals, that's what got him there, right? He had some goals. My mailman has goals. My housekeeper is disciplined. Everybody's trying to remove distractions. These things are not something that 99% of people don't do. Let's be real. If an action is common, i.e. if you can literally get on YouTube and find hundreds of videos telling you to do it, then it's not gonna make you more successful than 99% of people. By definition, to be more successful than everybody else, you need to do what everybody else does not do. Here's a harsh truth for you. When it comes to success, the productivity hacks, the morning routines, most of it doesn't matter. And to prove my point, I'm going to share with you some of the basic habits of some of the world's most successful people throughout history. So let's get into it. If you actually want to be more successful than 99% of people, you have to, 1, have a contrarian idea, 2, be correct about that idea, and 3, execute on it massively. Let's start with number 1. Most people don't ever have a contrarian idea in their life. Let's be honest, most people just kind of go with the flow and agree with whatever their friends tell them is cool that week. But there is a significant minority of people in society that will think for themselves and come up with some contrarian ideas, which brings us to number 2. Of all the people that have contrarian ideas, the vast majority of those contrarian ideas are not going to be correct. They're going to be horribly wrong. They're going to be embarrassingly wrong. This is actually the most difficult part of achieving insane amounts of success. You have to disagree with everybody and then be right. And even if you happen to disagree with everybody and be right about it, you have to be willing to execute. When we look at super successful people, we tend to focus on that last part. What's his morning routine? What sort of supplements did she take? Execution gets discussed most of the time because it's easy to observe. It's also easy to replicate. So while execution is incredibly important, it is not the thing that determines the magnitude of a person's success. Steve Jobs was not Steve Jobs because he woke up early. Steve Jobs was Steve Jobs because he believed a full decade before anybody else that one day a computer would sit on every desk and be in every office in the entire world. And he was correct about it. Warren Buffett, every morning, goes to the McDonald's drive-thru and gets the same breakfast that you and I look down on. How is he not dead yet? Warren Buffett is Warren Buffett because consistently he has identified companies that were extremely valuable that most other people thought sucked. And then he bought them. And then he sat around eating McDonald's and drinking Coca-Cola and waited a few decades, which by the way is another thing most people are not willing to do. And now he's the greatest investor of all time. Execution is overrated. If I can do one thing that will 100x my results, then the other 99 things don't really matter. But people don't like hearing this because it is unbelievably hard to find that one thing that is gonna 100x your results. So instead, we make videos about, morning routines, and look, execution is necessary. It's just not sufficient. And 99% of the advice that you're gonna get out in the world is about execution. The hardest part about achieving extreme success isn't the work. Anyone can put in the work. It's being a correct contrarian. It's the willingness to question widely held assumptions. It's the ability to look at alternatives or opportunities that most people can't be bothered with. It's the ability to adopt unpopular beliefs and then stick to them when people start making fun of you. We forget that Steve Jobs had legions of haters throughout the 80s and 90s. He got kicked out of his own company. If you look at the biggest breakthroughs throughout human history, they were were all correct contrarian ideas. At one point, every single one of these ideas sounded ridiculous. And at every point, somebody very, very famous said, "That's not ridiculous. I think I can do it."
So guys, thank God you guys are in a different school. What do mainstream schools really teach children? Truth comes from authority. Intelligence is the ability to remember and repeat, not to come up with new things, but just remember and repeat. Accurate memory and repetition are rewarded. Non-compliance is punished. You got to be like everyone else and you got to stand in line. Conform intellectually and socially. You have to conform and not be unique. Thank goodness you guys are in a different school. Now look at Elon Musk here, coming up with new and unique ideas, coming up with what no one else would think. Him talking about the problem is not overpopulation on Earth, but the population bomb that is gonna burst. He thinks contrary in so many areas to other people. That's why he comes up with amazing new ideas that changes the world.
What do you think's the biggest threat to mankind right now?
Right now is population collapse, the super low birth rate.
Over like nuclear war, natural
birth
disaster.
Don't we have an overpopulation problem?
No, we have an underpopulation problem.
Really?
The birth rate in the US has been below replacement rate since like 71 or 72. Like China's got a huge population collapse problem. China's birth rate right now is 40% below replacement.
It's a very common misconception. I would have
It's
never.
a very common
Yeah.
misconception. People have no idea how fast the population is going to collapse. Like Japan actually went down by 600,000 people last year. The lifespan is increasing. That's the only reason why the population of Earth isn't plummeting, but it will plummet. At what point does a country have more adult diapers and baby diapers? And like Japan went past that point over 10 years ago, I believe. I'm sure you know a lot of people who have like no kids. Like how many kids do you guys have?
I got no kids.
I mean, that we know
None of
of.
you guys have. Basically, civilization will die with a whimper in adult diapers. You know, kind of sucks as it's like anticlimactic.